Now, students have always had a reputation for being fond of a drink, and for those who are, we may have uncovered the best academic course ever. It's at a college on the South Downs in Sussex where they can become students of wine. Rachel Royce reports.
These students aren't relaxing with a drink after their studies, they are studying, and their specialist subject is wine. Plumpton College in East Sussex is the only place in the country where students can do a Bachelor of Science in winemaking, a 3-year degree course. There are places for around 40 students a year.
I'm going to find out what the students learn when they're on a winemaking degree. So I'll get a little taste myself of what it's like to be a student of wine.
Today, these first-year students are going to have their first attempt at making wine. In their second year, these students will all get to make wine the commercial way, but that's not what they're doing today.
Your feet in the tray, give it a bit of a wash around, make sure they're nice and clean. And then, as I said,
Instead, today they're making a wine that will be ready in just 3 weeks. And their first job? To get the juice out of the grapes the old-fashioned way.
It's a tradition that dates back thousands of years, so I better give it a go too. Right, yes. Ooh, this is putting me off drinking wine, you know. I don't normally make it this way. Ooh, very squidgy and slippery through your toes.
But what can grape juice pressed by student bare feet taste like?
what does it taste like, Lucy?
It's really delicious, really sweet, and it's a little bit sour.
A little
Quite
bit.
acidic, quite acidic.
Care for a taste?
Do you know what? I think I might pass on that.
That's sure thing. We'll wait till the finished product.
How are we going to rate them? How are we going to weigh these different qualities?
Plumpton's wine students are rarely 18-year-olds straight from school. They often already have careers when they start the £8,000 a year course. Lucy Chivers worked in catering for 10 years.
So what are your ambitions? What do you want to do?
I'd like to go and work in an English vineyard, hopefully doing something sustainable or biodynamic, and eventually have my own vineyard in the UK.
So that sounds like an expensive thing to have.
It's very expensive. Yeah, I need a wealthy benefactor.
Some of the students are looking for a complete change of direction. Yvonne Sayer-Christensen used to work in financial marketing.
I've always had a love of wine, as we all do. So I decided to take on a course. My new future will be working in a vineyard. I'd like to be a vineyard manager.
Mary Bridges hadn't studied much science before, but today she's measuring the sulphur dioxide or SO2 content of the wine. The lab work is something many students get a real buzz out of.
The first day that we did this, I think everybody was like getting their cameras out, taking pictures, taking videos, because it's real science. Instagram was just full of first years doing aspiration.
The students are pressing on with their 3-week wine. Now it's time to decide how much sugar and yeast to add.
This is so exciting. This is the penultimate.
This is the magic.
This is the magic.
But before wine comes the grapes, and all those on the winemaking course have to learn about tending the vine.
So Yvonne, these little shoots that are coming from right at the base of the vine here, sort of around the graft union, what are they known as?
Suckers.
Excellent. And Mary, the shoots that are basically new shoots coming from old wood are known as?
Water shoots.
Excellent, yeah, very good.
This year, experts are predicting a bumper harvest after the long summer heat wave. At Plumpton, they started harvesting 2 weeks earlier than usual.
Nice and gently.
It's all hands on deck until lunchtime. All the undergraduates are kept busy at Plumpton, whether it's outdoors or indoors.
But what are their prospects of actually getting a job?
In the past, English wine was little more than a cottage industry, but now there are plenty of job opportunities in the UK, according to Chris Foss, the founder of Plumpton's wine courses.
The wine industry in the southeast is one of the fastest growing land-based industries, and it's not just grown in size, but the quality of the product is very much better.
Well, welcome all to Rathfinney, and we'll show you around and show you what we're doing here, if that's all right. Shall we go and have a look at the vineyard?
A lot of the UK's new generation of winemakers trained at Plumpton. Today the first years are going to meet one of them, Mark Driver. He created Rathfinney Wine Estate near Alfriston on the South Downs. Mark studied at Plumpton under Chris Foss. Just as he was setting up Rathfinney, he learned a lot.
It taught me all about how to grow grapes, plant vines and make wine.
So how important was that time?
It was really important. I was knocking on the door of Chris and others, asking them, what I should be ordering, what clones, what varieties I should be planting.
Back at Plumpton, and some students are making wine that will be sold commercially. Today it's sparkling wine. It's a product that's really caught on with other wine producers in the southeast, and Chris Foss believes he and the college played a part in making that happen.
I was very surprised that so few people were looking at sparkling wines, because our nearest neighbour really is Champagne.
It's the last day of term, and the students have the dubious task of blind tasting their own 3-week wine.
We're tasting the product of everyone's winemaking trials, and they're quite disgusting. And Tony's encouraged us to be as nastily poetic as we like. I'm hoping I haven't slagged my own one off. This one smells like sick.
Is everyone handing in their votes yet?
And some of the reviews were indeed less than complimentary.
Good for chips and nothing else.
Cat sick in old asparagus.
Lovely.
Makes the eye twitch.
Stagnant pond water smells better than this, but getting some gooseberry on the palate.
A car crash.
These winemaking students have learnt a lot and had fun in their first year at Plumpton. They all hope to go on and have sparkling futures in the wine industry, and that might well be here in the southeast's very own vineyards.
That was Rachel Royce reporting. Now, for more information about our region, don't forget you can visit our live